Hello, fellow entrepreneurs. Welcome to my channel where I read and summarize books relating to being a better entrepreneur. I met no one who I thought was wise who didn't read. I believe reading is essential for those who seek to rise above the ordinary. So today, we will be learning from Mark Cuban's book, How to Win at the Sport of Business. If I can do it, you can do it. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Mark Cuban's one of those guys who relocated to Dallas, Texas in search of sunshine and women. But he's also one of those rare individuals who can take a little and turn it into a lot. He is the founder of Micro Solutions and Broadcast.com, both of which have grown into multi-billion-dollar businesses, and he also owns an NBA basketball team. So how'd he do it? Today, we know that Mark Cuban is a famous businessman, investor, and billionaire from Shark Tank. But in his book, Mark Cuban serves up his knowledge and personal experience from the business world on a silver platter in How to Win at the Sport of Business. He also provides invaluable advice on how to grow your own business and make it a huge success. This video is broken up into 6 parts. Part 1, do whatever it takes. Part 2, timing and passion is everything. Part 3, keep learning. Part 4, put in work. Part 5, keep going while keeping your customers in mind at all times. Part 6, whining can be a benefit. Part 1, do whatever it takes. Mark Cuban worked his way up from sleeping on the floor to becoming the CEO of his own business. At the age of 24, Mark Cuban moved to Dallas in search of 3 things: sunshine, job opportunities, and women. He started out sleeping on the floor of a friend's tiny apartment with a broken down car and a few polyester suits. Cuban had a number of jobs that he knew would benefit his career because they all represented learning opportunities. While many people believe they must find the perfect job and commit to it immediately after graduation, this is not always the best way to begin your career. Rather, it is preferable to first build and develop a diverse set of skills. Cuban spent a few months as a young man fresh out of college at Mellon Bank, where he learned about computer systems. He also attempted to improve the company without first consulting his boss, which resulted in him getting fired. He got a new job working with software after moving to Dallas. He spent $99 on a computer and began teaching himself how to program. Rather than returning to university, he decided to devote his time to his new endeavor because it provided an opportunity to earn money while learning. Another valuable lesson learned from working a variety of temporary jobs is that other people's methods aren't always the best for you. Working a variety of jobs not only allows you to learn more about yourself, your skills, and your goals, but it also teaches you a lot about how businesses and bosses go wrong. When Cuban discovered that his bosses were not receptive to their employees' ideas, he decided that he could no longer work there. So he quit and started Micro Solutions, a company that sold PC software and configured computers. Part 2, timing and passion is everything. Micro Solutions had its share of issues. At one point, a secretary stole nearly all of the company's funds, but Cuban was able to turn it into a strong company with over $30 million in revenue. Cuban began his career as a small business owner before branching out into a field he enjoyed. Cuban sold Micro Solutions for $6 million just a few years after starting it. When you're starting a small business, it can feel like it'll never grow beyond its current size. However, as Cuban demonstrated, any type of business can succeed. Cuban founded AudioNet, which he later renamed Broadcast.com after Micro Solutions. It was an online radio station that allowed fans to listen to NBA and NFL games. Yahoo became interested in the company and bought it from Cuban and his partner Todd Wagner for $5.9 billion in 1999. You can reinvest the money you make from your first success, just like Cuban, into a new business that is more aligned with your personal interests. Why not invest in something you're passionate about if you have the funds to do it? Cuban wanted to make his mark in basketball, so he sold Broadcast.com and used the proceeds to purchase the NBA's Dallas Mavericks. He then decided to make some adjustments. During his early years in Dallas, Cuban had learned the value of customer satisfaction, so he began selling Mavericks tickets for as little as $2. He attended many of the team's games, but he preferred to sit among the regular fans so that he could have the same experience as his customers. Cuban's success was built on his brilliant business acumen and keen sense of timing. Part 3, keep learning. While working day and night to build Micro Solutions into a successful business, Cuban learned some of his most valuable lessons. Never stop learning was one of the most important lessons he learned. Take advantage of every opportunity to learn. One example is to simply read, and to read about whatever interests you. Most people do not take advantage of the vast amount of reading material that we have at our fingertips. So take a different approach and read as much as you can. While others were watching TV or having fun, Cuban spent all of his time studying. He studied software manuals, read about programming, and famous entrepreneurs. He did everything he could to get ahead of the competition. Business is a competitive environment. If you want to win, you must outsmart your opponents, so keep your wits about you. Never give up on gaining an advantage over them. After all, someone will always try to drive you out of business. Assume you're one of the competitors, on the lookout for any way to sabotage your company. What weaknesses in your business could a competitor exploit? Determine your flaws before someone else does. You should also run your business as if you're competing against the best. Start acting like Google if you want to compete with them. It will prepare you to deal with less dangerous competitors. In business, you must have a competitive advantage. You must have the desire to win as well as the ability to be the smartest and most prepared person in the room. You must be willing to put in long hours while keeping a positive attitude and treating others with respect. Business is also a never-ending game. You're competing as long as you're working. Never think you've won by settling, because there's always another company out to get you. Part 4. Put in work. It's impossible to have complete control over every aspect of your business. However, if you want to make it, you'll have to put in a lot of effort. In fact, you should be prepared to work on your objectives at all hours of the day and night. There are many uncontrollable variables in sports and business, but one thing you can always control is your own effort. You must commit to staying up late every day, training for long hours, and educating yourself in business, just as you must do in sports. During the day, work with customers and potential customers, and at night, prepare for the coming days. That's how Cuban was able to make Micro Solutions so successful. He still reminds himself every day to work hard and build on his success, even though he now works for the Mavericks. However, a strong work ethic isn't enough. You must also choose which opportunities to pursue, as you will not be able to take all of them. As your business grows, more and more opportunities will present themselves. Don't make the mistake of pursuing them all. It will divert your attention away from your primary objectives. It will almost certainly harm your business. Within the NBA, for example, there had been talk of expanding the league to an international level, but Cuban refused. He was well aware that doing so would divert his and his team's attention away from where they were at the time and what they needed to do to improve. Never lose sight of your true desires. Sticking to your goals and working hard are the keys to success. However, if you want to succeed in business, you'll need something else: money. Part 5. Keep going while keeping your customers in mind at all times. When you're a small business owner in need of capital, it's tempting to turn to large investors. Taking money from major investors, however, can be detrimental to your company. A venture capitalist will almost certainly be able to assist you with financial matters at first, but there's a reason they're known as vulture investors. If someone pays for your business, you're in their hands. If you don't deliver on your promises, you'll be held liable. Even within your own company, you could be replaced. Learn to be content with slow growth instead of relying on large investors. You don't have to start your business right away. In fact, it's sometimes better to start small and build from there. Cuban and his friend Scott founded Micro Solutions in the beginning. The two spent most of their time learning about software and establishing a name for themselves. Slowly, the business grew. Don't lose sight of the most important aspect of your business when it begins to grow: your customers. It's tempting to focus on expansion instead, but keep in mind that the most important aspect of any business is always keeping your customers happy. Even if you have the most brilliant idea in the world, keep in mind that it is your customers who will ensure your success. When his companies received customer complaints, Cuban always wanted to know about it. Even after becoming a billionaire, he would try to respond to them personally because he wanted his companies to remain customer-centric. Part 6. Whining can be a benefit. You might feel insulted or embarrassed if someone calls you a whiner. You should, however, not do so. Whining isn't always something to be ashamed of. Whining, on the other hand, can be beneficial. It highlights flaws and encourages you to fix them. If you find yourself whining, it's a sign that you're having difficulties. You'll be motivated to fix those problems if you allow yourself to whine. Otherwise, you'll stay stuck in your situation and whine even more. Mark Cuban enjoys whining for this very reason. He complained about the general lack of energy and fun in the building on opening night of the Mavericks' 1999 season, for example. He decided that buying the Mavericks himself would help him create a better environment. However, whining isn't enough. You and your team must still enjoy what you do and have the ability to sell your product. It isn't enough for you to enjoy what you do, everyone involved should too. If you and your team aren't truly passionate about what you're doing, you won't be able to push through all of the hard work that lies ahead of you. You'll lose steam if you don't have passion. As a result, you should only hire people who share your drive. Look for team members who are invested in their own development and advancement. Scott was hired by Cuban because he shares Cuban's enthusiasm for Micro Solutions' growth. Scott even quit his previous job to devote his full attention to Micro Solutions, spending days learning about various PCs and how to install various types of software. Overall, Cuban's story is one of perseverance and staying true to oneself. If Mark Cuban can make his own way in the business world, so can you. As Mark Cuban shows, anyone can make their dreams a reality, but it will take a lot of effort. Stay committed, even if it means sleeping on the floor. Before breaking into your dream field, set a realistic goal for yourself, but never stop trying to improve and remember to take it slowly. Remember that customers are the most important part of any business, and feel free to complain when the time comes. You can do it, too, if Mark Cuban did it. This wraps up the summary from the book, How to Win at the Sport of Business. If I Can Do It, You Can Do It, by Mark Cuban. Thank you for sticking out through the very end of this video. Nothing helps out my channel more than y'all watching the entire video. These videos take a long time to make and is a labor of love. If you would like to contribute by buying me a cup of coffee, I'll leave the link below along with a link to this book. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe and watch these videos that might pique your interest. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, keep reading.